Hey, welcome to your Libra horoscopes for the week of the 22nd to the 28th of October, which means the Libra season is ending. You have one more day. Today, Sunday, the 22nd, actually, and then the sun officially moves on to Scorpio, which isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, considering the sun and Mercury's positions, which Mercury is 0 degrees Scorpio right at the beginning of the week. So they're both in very tight conjunction with each other. In some ways, this is a really good energy towards your career, as the sun is where you tend to shine, and Mercury is, of course, the place where you tend to put all of your communicative energy in there, as well as all of your intellectual energy, which is a good thing also. But they're both lining up in challenges in some ways. No, actually, wait a minute. I am so kind of lying, actually. Let me just retract that. Not huge challenges, small challenges. You guys got lucky. Scorpio, not so much. But yes, we have a couple of things going on here. We do have a slight challenge as Mercury is leaving your sign at the beginning of the week, is moving into a square with Pluto. And Pluto is very much focused on self transformation, growth, really it's evaluating who you are and how you want to be portrayed, how you want to portray yourself in the world. And I think that Libras do that a lot, because Libras tend to change, into who they are with in some ways. Libras are kind of like chameleons. And while a lot of people may say that it's because they don't have their own personality, they take on everybody else's. Actually, I feel that's absolutely not true. That Libras do this in order to make the people around them feel comfortable with who they are. So there's no threat around that person, if that makes sense. And it's actually a brilliant thing, really, in a world that seems like it's constantly thinking about it themselves. Libras are out there actually thinking about everybody else, and most of the time, or ignoring themselves. But there's a whole different ball game there. The problem with that is that eventually you do get to a point where you don't really know who you are, and especially if you're separating from different personalities, you have to develop a new one in some way. And so the challenge here is to find who you are, to find that person, the foundation of the individual. And I think that we all go through this in some way, shape, or form. I just think that I should say that Libras tend to do this more than anybody else, because they tend to put so many people's needs ahead of their own. So it's almost an identity crisis in a way, but we can omit that crisis word, because the crisis is scary. A crisis means that everything is going to fall apart if we don't do something right now. This isn't a crisis. This is an opportunity for you guys to establish who you are next. Nobody has to stay exactly the same. And you're a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs don't like to stay the same anyways. They like a gradual change. They like evolution and development. This is not you losing who you are. This is an opportunity for you to choose who you want to be next. And that's really a really exciting prospect when you think about that. And I really feel that while many signs can pull this off, I also feel that you guys can pull this off better than anybody else can. Because most Libras that I know go through this type of evolution. It's just normal for them. And it's awesome too. So it's a little bit of a challenge, not a big one, just a little bit. And as the sun and Mercury are moving out of your sign for the first few days, I would say, of the week, we're going into Tuesday, Wednesday through Thursday, into Friday, even for most of the week. We have the sun and Mercury. Although Mercury ends this about Wednesday or so, but the sun continues in this trine with Saturn. Saturn is still retrograde throughout the week and is focused on the past. And what's actually interesting about this is that Saturn mirrors that responsibility back at ourselves. And when it's focused on the past, then the other interesting layer to that is that we're not looking at what people did to us. We're looking at the choices that we made to make things difficult for us, which is part of your evolution. So this aspect really is helpful through that challenge, because the more accountability you have, the easier it is for you to move on. When you're stuck blaming other people for your problems, nothing ever changes. There's never a fix to the problem. When you're taking accountability for what is yours, taking responsibility for that, you're also putting yourself in the position to be mindful of that so it doesn't come in and trip you up later, which is definitely something that's going to help you out from here on out. So throughout the week, even though the sun isn't quite in your sign, it is still close enough for you to be feeling this helpful boost, for lack of a better way of saying it, this helpful boost in yourself, reminding you of who you are, of what you are capable of what you can do, and also reminding you a little bit that you matter. It's really important that you always remember that you do matter. Sometimes it's a good idea to put you first. Everybody needs to do it, even Libras. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending me a tip or donation through my Ko-fi link, ko-fi.com/heavy metal psychic, or you can click the link in the description here in the video. I would really appreciate that, of course. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching this week. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, I'm so looking forward to seeing what you guys evolve into. And I just have to say really quick that that word evolve is not as big as we make it out to be. You're not going to change into a completely different person. You're going to leave something behind that isn't working for you and replace it with something that is, and see what kind of excitement you can get out of that. And that is a really exciting process. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with that. You guys make it a great week, and I will see you all next week.